Hi! It's so hard to believe that just a little over a month ago, the most exciting trips I was taking was to the theater in Manhattan on Broadway. And now we can't do it. What is a theater junkie to do? What is an entertainment junkie to do? And if you're like most of the rest of the population, this crisis has definitely hit you in your pocket, right? So if you're going to get some entertainment, it needs to be free or as close to free as possible. And I don't know about you, but I need some pick-me-ups. I need something funny. Recently, my editor told me to watch a Victor Borge video on YouTube, which is free. And if you remember, Victor Borge is a brilliant pianist and also a comedian who used to do live theater performances many, many years ago. So I found this Victor Borge performance on YouTube of an old show that he did in Minneapolis. And he's so sweet and so completely family friendly. And he talks between playing these beautiful piano pieces. And at one point, he brings on a guest, right? And the humor is just really silly. You know, he starts the show by saying, "It's so good to be here in Minneapolis." and it's the sweetest thing. Some people come in late, of course, because it's the theater and people come in late. And he says, "Well, where are you from?" And one of the guys yells out from the seats, "St. Paul," and the other one says Minneapolis, and he's like, "Oh, you didn't come together?" And they're like, "No, we don't know each other." And he says, "Well, I came from Copenhagen, and I was here before you." It's just silly humor. But the best part was when he brought in a guest pianist who was in from New York, but originally from Turkey. So there was a language barrier, so they couldn't speak to one another, right? And Victor insisted that he could understand English, this other guy, but couldn't speak it. So of course the comedy becomes physical. And the two of them sit down on this very short piano bench, which they attempt to share, and one of them falls off the end of it. I think it's the poor Turkish guy, and he's hanging off of the keyboard, you know, with his legs underneath the grand piano. And they play this gorgeous Franz Liszt piece. And it brought to mind that Franz Liszt was, of course, a rock star of his era. And it made me wonder if this piece was meant to be funny even back then. Because the two of them are doing this sort of acrobats over one another, reaching over one another, stepping over one another, doing a round robin around the piano bench, and playing the piece perfectly and beautifully. So much fun. So much fun. It was definitely a pick-me-up. And I don't know about you, but it's getting a little rough, right? Stuff is happening that's not pleasant. And I needed to go somewhere and just not think about it for a little while. And Victor Borge brought it to me today. So I highly recommend it. Check out some performances on YouTube. Cheer yourselves up, darlings. We'll get through this. Have a great day. Bye-bye.